is 10 members of the family are seated along a long table. 10 members are seated along a long table for a dinner. Five of them, okay, so are seated along the side facing west, and the other five seated along facing east. Okay, not necessarily in the given order. Okay, so I am writing for west who all are. So it is Jack, Paris, Lisha, Maria, and Nolan. And in east side we have Eric, Paul, Isabel, and Emily. Fine. So just give them. We have two P's. So I'm writing this as PR and this is as PU. Okay. Fine. So we will use them just so that we do not confuse. Okay. So in these questions, when it is north or south, so something. See, if you want to make a thing like, so you can make it like north, south, east, and west. Otherwise, in these questions you can use like this also, because these sides which are east or west, they are just depicting that they are sitting opposite to each other. Okay, are you getting this point? So this could be the same question, could be from south to north to south also, but as in this question it is given, so I am using the same notations. Means one in the, so we have, there will be five people in this side and five people in this side. Okay, fine, I am putting it like that. Let's, I'm trying to make it a straight line. Okay, so one, two, three, four, and the fifth one. Here also one, two, three, four, and the fifth one. Okay, so that we get the opposite and all those things very clearly. Okay, fine. So let us read it. Amila is seated. Amelia is seated third to the right of Paul. Okay, so they are onto the same side, na? Amila and Paul. Okay. So this is our west side and this is our east side. So third to the right of Paul. Amila is seated, A is seated third on the right of Paul. So if Paul is sitting somewhere third to the right of Paul and we do not know where it is. So let me give you a hint. So please assume that you are sitting in that place and then look for the right and left. Okay, so if Paul is, so we have this first pointer. If Paul is here, means, how should I explain it? Okay, so it is onto the eastern side. So try to understand, if Paul is somewhere here, if Paul is, suppose Paul is here, so on the third it will be first, second, third, because when you are sitting in this side facing towards west, you will have your right here. Fine. So Paul can take this position or this position, because either Amila can be here or here. Fine. So I am just rubbing it out, and you should know that what the question, what are your points. That's it. Okay. So third to the right of. So I am just highlighting it. Third right of Paul. Okay, fine. Next is Eric is seated second on the left of Amila. So if Amila is sitting here, so second left, left will come to this side. I hope you're understanding. If Amila is here, then Eric will be, uh, Eric is seated second to the left of. Okay, so this is first left, second left. So he will be somewhere here, second to the. So, okay, fine. Getting the point. Fine. So I'm just trying to highlight this also. The one who is seated facing Eric is on the immediate, is on the immediate right of. Okay, so we need to find out who is seated at this point. Fine. Fine, fine, fine. Who the one who is seated facing Eric is on the immediate right of Paris. Okay. So when you are sitting this side, so right will come if someone is sitting at this point. If J is here, okay. If J is here, so in this case the right will be on this side. Okay. I hope you're understanding this point. Fine. Okay. Let me mark it. In this side, this is the right. Okay, it will vanish. So in this side, this is right and this is left. But in this side, it is opposite. If you're sitting, no, sorry, I marked it wrong. This is right and this is left. And in this side, it is opposite. This is right and this is left. Okay, fine. So that you know the directions. If you're facing any problem, assume that you are sitting at that point. So you will understand this point. Okay. Okay. So let me come to this point. Okay. So we have these two cases. Are you understanding? And there are exactly two people between Jack and Lisa, and neither Jack is seated opposite to Terrace. Okay, fine. So let me use this one iteration. First, Amelia is seated third to the right of Paul. So if Paul is here, so third right will be first, second, third. Amelia is here. Then Erica is seated second to the left of Amelia. Second, first left, second left. So Erica is somewhere here. This is a case, huh? So this is case one, because Paul can be here in this position or can be in this position. Okay, so okay. The one who is seated facing Eric is immediately right of Paris. So the one who is sitting here is on the right of. So Paris will be somewhere here on the immediate right of Paris. So Paris is here. This is PR and this is Paul. So PU. Fine. Fine. Next is exactly one person is seated between Paris and Maria. So Maria could be here in this position, or it Maria could be in this position. Okay. Are you understanding this point? Because there should be one person between them. So if we do not find, then we will use this point. Okay. Either we will use something else. So I am just highlighting this point. Exactly 1% between. Okay. Jack is not seated immediately next to Paris. So Jack is not here, Jack is not here, or Jack is also not here, is not seated immediately next to Paris. There are exactly two people between Jake and Lisa. Jake and Lisa will have two people between them. So if Jack is on to this position, Jack could be on this position. So there are exactly two people between Jack and Lisa. So Jack could be on this point. So two places. Then Lisa could be at this place, or Jack could be here. Jack could be on this position. Okay, let me change the color. So this is one iteration. Or Jack could be in this position, and then there will be two people, and Maria will be at this position. Okay. Let us take the third point. Neither Paris nor Jack is seated opposite to Terrace. Okay. So Paris nor Jack opposite Terry. Okay, fine. So we have these points in mind. We should keep these points in our mind. Okay. What is happening? Fine. Okay. So let us. So in this example, are we able to fill all the positions, or we need to make cases as well? So we need to fill it. We need to fill these positions and see what it is. So here it was Paris. So this is your Paris. There is exactly one person between. So in this place, we are left with two positions now. E is done, Paul is done, I, T, A. So nor Jack nor Teresa is opposite Teresi. So Teresi cannot be here, so Teresi will be somewhere here. ठीक है? Are you getting this? This point. Neither Jack nor is opposite Teresi. So Teresi cannot be here, so Teresi will be here. So here you will get I. Okay. So in this, now coming on to this point. Okay. Exactly one person is between Parisa and Mary. Okay. Jack is not seated immediately next to Paris. Okay. So in these positions, Jack is not there. In these positions, Jack is not there. Exactly one person is between Paris and. Okay. So, and Jack cannot be on this position also because neither Paris or Jack is seated opposite. So Jack goes to only one position left, which is this. Fine. So I am re- removing all the other parts. Okay, fine. Next coming, so we have this point sorted. The other thing is, so Jack is seated. We had this, huh? Jack is not seated, and there are exactly two people, huh? Two people between Jack and Lisa. So Jack is here, two people, then Lisa is here. Then Lisa is done. So we have this. Jack is not seated immediately next to Paris. We have used this point. There's exactly one person between Paris and. So it could be only the Maria can take only this position because she cannot take this position because there should be one person between them. So the left one is Jack is done. So L is done. M. Okay. So this is the position for case one. Okay. I'm rubbing all those things. This is our case one. Case one, are you understanding? In which we considered that Paul is sitting at the least point. Okay. Next take the second case in this same question. Okay. So how should I do it? I'm making somewhere here. Okay. I'm trying to make these five positions again. One, one, two, three, five, and same here. One, two, three, four, and five. So in this, we are taking that Amila is seated third to the right of Paul. So Paul is somewhere here. Okay, PU. In the first case, we took it here, and in second case, we are taking it as the Paul is seated here. So the third right is so Amila goes to this position. Okay, fine. Then to its second it is E. Fine, which is written. Eric is seated second to the left of Amila. Okay. The one who is seated facing Eric is immediately. So one who is facing Eric is so the Paris will come in this point. Okay. Exactly one person is seated between Paris and Maria. We cannot plot it now. Jack is not seated immediately next to Paris. So Jack is not here. Jack is not here. Fine. There are exactly two people between Jack and Lisa. We will use this point. Neither Jack is seated opposite to Teresi. So no one is seated opposite to Teresi. Fine. In this, if we find, can we fill any of the positions in this? Amila is seated third to the right of Paul. We have done this. Eric is seated second to the left of Amila. Fine. And Teresi cannot take this position because of this point. Neither Paris nor Jack is seated opposite to Teresi. So Teresi goes to this, and the left one I comes here. Fine. Same same case. We have used this point to get it here. So Jack cannot take this position also. So Jack goes to this position. Fine. So I'm rubbing these Jack ones. Okay. So Jack takes this position, as you know, and there is one more thing. Fine. So Jack takes this position, and now we can fill it very comfortably. Exactly one person is between. Okay. So one person between. It could be she cannot take this position. In this case, Maria cannot be seated. Maria cannot take this position. It cannot take this position, and it cannot take this position also. Are you understanding? Because the point is exactly one person is between Paris and Maria. So Maria cannot take this because this is immediately one person between means it comes to Jack, and Jack is already seated here. So the case two is not valid. So the all the answers should be answered with case one. Fine, fine. So I am removing this whole part. If you want, you can pause the video and look into it. Fine. So okay, and if you have any of the questions, then let me know. So coming on to this, now I need to just take the correct answers. Okay, let's go into the questions. Who among the below is seated facing Nolan? So who is facing Nolan? It is Eric. Fine. This is the thing. Yeah? Next question. Which of the below statement is true regarding Maria? Okay, so Maria is seated. Okay, here. Maria is here. So let us check. Maria is seated facing the person seated immediately next to. No, this is not correct. Paris is seated. Paris is seated immediately next to Maria. No, this can be removed. Lisa is seated on the immediate right of. Lisa is seated on immediate right of Maria. It is correct. Lisa is onto the immediate right of right, and this side direction is here. Okay. Exactly one person is seated between Maria and Nolan. No, none of the statement is true. Always read all the statements. Huh? So in this option C was correct answer. Coming on to this, coming on to this point, who amongst the below is seated facing Isabel? So Isabel opposite is Paris. Fine. I hope you get it from here. This is the thing. Huh? Where is Amila seated with respect to Teresi? So with respect to Teresi, immediate left. Huh? So it is immediate left option. Fine. Coming on to this, Teresa, Amila is seated to with respect to Teresa. Huh? With respect to Teresa, Amila is seated on the immediate left. Fine. Four of the below five are similar in certain manner based on the given arrangement and thus form a group. Which of the following does not belong to that group? Okay. So these are Maria, Nolan, Jack, Tracy, and Paul. Fine. Let us check what is in between them. The four will be odd one out. It is. Huh? So Maria is here, Jack is here, N is here, and T is in this position, and Paul is here. Okay. So are they opposite? Jack and Paul is opposite. Okay. N and M and T is opposite. Okay. So M and T is opposite, and okay, sorry. M and T are opposite, and J and Paul are opposite. So N is not making a sense. Odd one out is N. Fine. So in this question, the answer is B. Fine. Thank you.